And what's up, everybody? Nice to see you all or be here with you all. And yeah, when we originally decided to do this, we're texting last week, and I was like, let's just talk about some random conscious stuff because I just felt that a free flow of energy is what's needed rather than some sort of direction and conversations because there's so much going on right now. And not just with the world situation and the viral thing that's happening, but just all these different drops, even in the realm of UFO disclosure, in the realm of forbidden archaeology, new archaeological discoveries. And to talk to your point, when we start discussing ancient civilizations and what we can learn from our past, the reason why it's important to learn from our past is because we've created and we have committed many mistakes that has led to detriment of humanity, and we can learn from our past. But not only can we learn from the past that is actually there available for us to in our own history books even, but there's so much more that is out there that has been forgotten to time, lost to time, or been manipulated or hidden, right? So the why, we have to start questioning, why was that information manipulated or hidden? Maybe there was some sort of empowering message in there. Maybe there's something that we could learn. And what's happening now is that we are working with many researchers just to bring out this information so that we can create a picture of humanity's history, because truly the history of humanity, and that goes back into the galaxy, even the galactic history and the history of our entire cosmos, is the greatest story ever told, because it's literally the story that birthed all other stories. There would be no other story without the creation of what we are now, right? So it's so amazing and beautiful just to sit and watch it. And I want to have more of these discussions, Omar, because I feel that in the conscious, like, podcasting community right now, just the information in general, people are so focused on all the chaos and the division that is happening right now and speaking on it. And even though we speak on that too, we still want to continue the conversations about the disclosure of extraterrestrials and what our true history is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to talk about what's going on in the world today, politically and economically, and because it's important. But we shouldn't really, tunnel vision ourselves onto that and just solely focus on that. We have to stay attuned to and abreast to what we started off doing. And
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing this for a lot longer than I have been, and and our message all along has been to focus on our past and learn about ourselves. So absolutely, I think we should continue these types of discussions and help people understand what they are, because right now
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that are waking up and they're in a fog and they're going around looking for answers, and everywhere they look, the only thing that they're being bombarded with is the conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory, conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
But once some of these people actually come to some of our events and watch some of our videos, then then they'll get the basic idea of what's going on, because we're genuine people, just everyday people,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to
Trying to
share
figure
our
it out,
message. Yeah, exactly. Just like
exploring.
everybody else, we just have the balls to do it on screen.
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta say, that took a few years for me to even get myself, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I had to build myself up to it. Now, first I was
Yeah,
shy. I didn't want to turn the camera on, and then finally I turned the camera on, and I was
dude,
like, okay,
I know, right?
it's on, it's on, it's let's go.
When about 4 or 5 years ago, I went back into the job force, and I went to work at Canaan Engineering, this like air intake company. And when I went there, I had to go and contact everybody that had posted videos of me online. This is like 6 years ago, to get them to to take them down, because I was afraid that my employers would find my information about me and fire me. You know,
Oh no, really?
and that this was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And so just like when I reflect on that, I'm like, damn, I've come a long way. Now I'm like at a point where I don't even care. Like I'll put my name to things, especially because the more time progresses, the more everything that we've always felt in our hearts or intuitively seems to actually have been validated now as true. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Absolutely, Neil. And the thing with that also is that is the power of thought and the will to write the program that is before us, because we don't have to follow the path that's laid out. We can create our own future with our thought and our
Mhm.
willpower, and that's what you've done. You've went from in that state of fear of losing your job to now to the point where you want people to see your stuff,
Yeah.
right? So it's it's beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like we have to own it, like I felt like a hypocrite at that point in my life for a little bit because I was like really about it, but I felt like I couldn't express it because of fear of retaliation from family and friends. But now more that's progressed, yeah, I 100% own what we're doing. There's too much evidence here. And this is like, I'm generally a skeptic. So a lot of the information that I actually acquire that leads me to certain beliefs, I feel like it's vetted information. There's a lot of evidence to back it. And now, especially when it comes to UFOs and ETs, the kind of drops that we're getting from governments, right, are outrageous. The like everything beyond what we actually could have even imagined.
So why do you think they're doing that, Neil? Like, why let up on the information now? Like, what's their
Yes,
deal? Do they think that the cat's out of the bag and they have to do it before, really they
certain
land
time.
on the White House lawn kind of deal? Maybe not to that extreme, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, right?
yeah.
Before they decide to expose themselves.
So this opens up a great conversation that I wanted to actually have one of our discussions specifically about this. So I'm glad you segued into it because, all right. So just to give some like history, since December, and you probably know this, that in the COVID relief bill in the U.S., that there was a clause put in there back in December that said that for Marco Rubio, who's one of the people spearheading it, and then I think Senator Reid as well, who has been on Tom DeLonge's team for a while and to the Stars Academy, was said that we have that all the government agencies, all of them, have 180 days to disclose everything they have. Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah. So it was big news in CNN. Maybe it didn't come into Canada as much, but a lot of the UFO stuff that's been dropping becomes really big over here over the last few years. So, like all the mainstream outlets basically were talking about this. Why is there a clause in the COVID bill on UFOs? It's all about COVID. Why is there UFO stuff there? Now, what it seems has happened is all the political, the socio-economical, really mechanisms and structures and institutes that would be responsible and would be activated when ETs come and contact Earth have all been initiated during this world viral crisis, and then at the same time, UFOs information has come out even more than in the last 8 years. In the last 4 years, it's coming out quite a bit every month. It seemed every 2 months tops in the U.S. specifically, but now it's been even more since. And I'm trying not to say the viral word because I don't want to get demono on YouTube or anything or banned, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like this world.
yeah, yeah.
So I'll say current world crisis, right? Just to kind of give you that. So because of that, it seems that this is the perfect time also to have open contact with ETs, because if we were just doing the business as usual and this world crisis was not happening and we were all focused on going to our businesses, to running our stuff, identifying with what we do rather than the fact that, oh my god, who am I, because I just lost everything I thought I was, maybe I'm something different. If people were still going to churches, all that was happening, if open ET contact came here, there would be so many people not ready to fully even have the time or the bandwidth to even give to that concept because they're so focused in their rites and their rituals and their ceremonies about life. What's happened now is we've disrupted them all. This is really the most perfect time for ETs to have open contact with us. So, and then also these institutes have been initiated that seem like they, would be the perfect institutes to be initiated when we have this contact going on. So now to the 180 days to disclosure, what they said was you have 180 days to disclose everything you got, but they didn't wait 180 days. What happened was it started coming immediately within a week. In the CIA dropped in January this year. The CIA dropped, and because of what's going on in the world right now, that's why not everybody knows about this, because it's always like outranked in the search engines. But in January, the CIA dropped a bunch more documents, and I have a YouTube video on my YouTube channel called 180 Days to Disclosure, and it speaks about this and shows you the documents. But on it, dude, I went through it, and one of the documents is a celestial craft found hovering over Antarctica on the CIA's own
Oh,
website. Yeah. And dude, and they had like like, oh my god, there was two articles in there from somebody that received a message, one of the people that worked for the CIA that received a message from space, and it was the decoding. One of them was the message, and the other one was the decoding of the message to try to convert it to English, and they had two of those. So
Holy
completely
shit.
admitted that they're getting this contact going on, right? And I'm not even like, dude, type in CIA UFO and you'll probably find the first um, thing will be that website, and it's on the NSA's website. The NSA is housing the CIA's documents right now. So then that moves to today, and just a couple of days ago, this new revelation that just came out that I wanted to discuss this with you. And this is, I'm reading this from the Sun, but it's on all the mainstream outlets. Pentagon admits it has been testing wreckage from UFO crashes and findings may change our lives forever, experts say. This was a few days ago. So we do know a few years ago, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, we heard this
Mhm.
whole thing with Tom DeLonge's thing about how they had that a piece of metal and Robert Bigelow had it in Vegas, and that's pretty much all we heard of it. So now this is something a little different that's also about a metal. But the interesting thing is what they actually say about this metal. I'm going to read this to you. Let's see here. Researcher. Okay.
Is this the metal that Bob Lazar was talking about?
I don't know, but tell me what you if you think this is the metal, because it was called, what was the one Bob Lazar was calling about? Talk about again. What was the name of it?
I can't remember here.
Okay.
Let me just Google it real fast.
All right, and I'll read this to you as you do that. So this is a DoD response, right? Out of the 154 pages of test results that includes reports on a mysterious memory metal called nitinol, which remembers its original shape when folded. Like,
It
dude,
remembers
they've
its.
just
Say that
original
again,
shape.
Neil.
Okay, it's a memory metal called nitinol that remembers its original shape when folded. So you can, like, it's a metal and you can fold it into any way possible, and then it has a memory to it that it remembers the shape that it takes. So it's like
Wow.
some sort of advanced metal that they don't find on Earth that is in these documents that they have that they just dropped a few days ago about their test and their studies on it. It's 154 pages. That's only one line of 154 pages of the test results. 154
Holy.
pages, bro, of the test results of this. Imagine what's on there. And it's available for us to go through now.
So how does this metal? Did they talk about like how this metal
Let
retains
me
its
read.
memory? There's got to be like some sort of nanotechnology like in within, because this is like Terminator shit, man.
Well, I'm sure it's in the documents, but all the news agencies have done so far is report on it. They haven't dissected every page. They've just said that this exists,
Yeah.
right? So the person here says it was a stunning admission from the U.S. government, and the documents reveal that some sort of retrieved debris possesses extraordinary capabilities, including the potential to make things invisible or even slow down the speed of
Whoa.
light. Slow down the speed of light, bro.
Wow.
The Pentagon has admitted to holding and testing these debris from UFOs.
I wonder if it can increase the speed of light.
Face plant. I just hurt myself right there. I just smacked my head hard.
Oh shit, you okay?
Yeah. But that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's maddening. That reminds me of the Terminator. You know, remember he gets blown up and then his
Yeah.
liquid metal comes back together to keep that shape. This is insane stuff, man. And I
That's
wonder if it's
exactly
like
what my wife
programmed
said.
with that. This is insane stuff. Yeah,
No, she said that what if it's like Terminator. Yeah, that's exactly what I
yeah.
thought too. Mm-hmm.
Bob Lazar is un Pentium 115.
Okay, yeah, yep. That's something else probably.
Yeah.
Here's more. Nitinol is a shape memory alloy that remembers its original shape when folded or crunched and snaps back seamlessly and instantly. And you know what's funny is like I've seen that metal in many alien movies throughout the decades where they have that kind of thing that like they crunch up and then the metal goes out again. So they probably knew about it the whole time.
Isn't that something that I kind of could have sworn I'd seen a video on it for what's that Roswell, where there's
Yeah.
that one dude. He said that he found some sheet metal or something like that, and he squished it, and it went back to its original form to what he found. I think it's something like that. Like,
Yeah.
don't totally quote me on it, but it was
On the show, right? On the show, or are you talking about the real in real life?
like in real life.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember that. I think
yeah,
Don, his name's Don something. He's like talks on Roswell. He mentioned that.
yeah, something like that. It was a general or some army guy
Oh, Clifford
that
Stone.
that went to investigate the the Roswell, and then said that he found something and took pictures of it.
On the NSA's website where they have the CIA documents, they say they have documents on there talking about Roswell being fake, right? And then they just drop some more documents that talk about it being real.
I talk about
So
trying to confuse a guy there, right?
yeah.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm
got
still
to be
browsing.
real. It has to be real. Roswell has to be real. I don't
Yeah.
think they could have. I don't think it would have held on as long as it has if it was a fake.
Mm-hmm. It says here the reveals the testing was carried out by Bigelow Aerospace, one of the department's defense private contractors based in Vegas, and the company laid off all of its staff at the Vegas plant last March due to the pandemic, and also, and it's not known where the UFO material is now kept, so they moved it somewhere. Oh yeah, and here's a picture right here off Roswell and the medal in that Army general's hand. Marcel Jesse.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name.
I just remember the story. I don't remember the names. Right? I've been
Hmm.
420 friendly for like 30 some odd years, so it's
Yeah.
it's taken its toll a little bit, right? So, but I remember I remember all the highlights and shit, right? But if you want to
Yeah.
ask me names and stuff, then that's when the Google kicks in.
Straight up, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so it's amazing, dude. Like, so a lot of things are happening. I wanted to bring that up, especially because I want to circulate that around a bit because it is being overlooked by many because of just a lot of people are still kind of like trying to figure out what to do with their lives. It's like the shock of what has happened to the planet hasn't quite settled yet. We're still kind of in that shocking phase, and I've noticed that only some people are starting to settle into this experience now and are starting to talk about it, come out, have these discussions. But I definitely wanted to bring it out there and let people know about it.
Yeah, and earlier you said that this is the right time for ET to expose itself, and that's absolutely correct, right? Because the way we're
Hmm.
talking about 2020, like we're looking at it as some horrible thing, and 2021 comes along and something big happens, it's not really going to phase the people all that much because we've been conditioned now to accept something even more bizarre
Hmm.
than what we've been currently exposed to. So it totally makes sense,
Yeah.
right? People will have parties, I think, if they find out, because they'll be thinking they're here to save us. What do you
Yeah.
think? Are they here to save us, or are they here to um, you know, Columbus coming to America kind of deal?
No, I don't think they're Columbus coming to America. I think that the ones that we're going to connect with and communicate with are going to be benevolent, loving beings, and for the most part, the advanced beings will be like this. And I also feel that humans have a tendency to what is it to project their own personalities and beliefs onto others, and so that's what we do when it comes to ET. We project that the ET is going to be as negative, divisive, harmful,
Independence Day.
controlling, patriarchal as we are, right? But there's
Yeah.
so many different factors involved, and I would say that right now, because of that craziness and the division in the world, we're inhibiting progress. Progress is kind of being fake right now. Technology is increasing exponentially, but the consciousness of our governments really aren't. So, and our, just our world structure. So, what needs to happen is that needs to shift in order for us to have open contact. And just like the guy from Israel, the space chief that came out recently, he said that the Galactic Federation has been in contact with us for quite some time, and that the reason why they don't communicate with us and have open contact is because we're not ready yet. And I feel we're going to be ready, and we are. This whole experience in the last year has really, I feel, kicked us forward in being ready for this experience of ET open contact.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it has. Like I was saying, they conditioned us into something big like this to happen, and
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same way that there's going to be benevolent ET that show up, and along the way we might get exposed to some hostile ones. But let me ask you
Yeah.
this now. ETs, say they're a million years old, compared to our, couple of few 100,000 years, or even a couple million
Hmm.
years, and
Hmm.
they're like, half a billion years old, and they were able to travel, interdimensionally. Do you think that the ET that would come from higher dimensional states and manifest physically in this dimension be more benevolent than the ones that are existing right here with us right now in this
Hmm.
this 4D environment that we share with them?
Yeah, I used to think that was the way it was, but now I think that there's such a huge wide range of experience that I can't really give I can not put a blanket statement on any type of experience. I don't really truly know what the fourth or fifth or sixth dimensional experiences are. And if we look at the galactic history and channeled information or even other information about galactic history, we have information about all these wars that took place as well. For example, the Orion Wars that supposedly took place over tens of thousands of years, linear years of Earth time, but existed in a different dimension. We also have stories of the Lyrans being the first humanoid race. However, the Lyrans had conflict on their planet and actually had war and broke out into three different planets in their first solar system that they inhabited. So, for us to say that being higher dimensional means that you're not going to have these dualities or challenges that might be negative agendas, right?
Mhm.
I'm not too sure. I would feel it's a frequency game, but I feel that you can be within frequencies, like between vibrations and realms as well, like the astral realm. So to answer your question, to go back to your question, the individuals on Earth, say that there's ETs on Earth. I feel that humans on Earth, having our chakra system, but also having the 12 chakras that we can tap into, we're able to tap into the compassion and the benevolence of all those dimensions right when we're on Earth. So if you're an ET on Earth and you had similar abilities to tap into other dimensions of experience, then you could be you can probably be more benevolent than an ET that's coming from another dimension down here.
Yeah, you would choose love just
Yeah.
naturally, right?
This is
Naturally.
all
That's
theoretical right now. I'm just like
Yeah,
thinking out loud, you know?
yeah. Me too. I think if you're a higher state of being, I don't think you would have any business with any form of violence or anything like that. Here, let me ask you now this about the ET. I got a take on it as well, but
Yeah.
I want to hear your thought on it first. All these abductions that are happening, that we've been hearing about. There's probably like tens of thousands of them every single day
Hmm.
that we're not aware of. You figure by now, after so many abductions, the idea of them trying to learn about us can go out the window, right? Because they know everything about us. And what's what's their goal, right? Like, what are they up to? Are they trying to, are they messing around with our DNA? Are they,
Yeah.
re-engineering us in some shape, way, or form, or and have been for, a very, very long time to create us into what they want?
Hmm. So I feel that there's because I've been into the hybridization information for quite some time. Back in 2010, 2011, was with speakers and even hypnotherapists that used to regress people to the abduction experiences. And Dolores Cannon was a great friend, and she, her last event was with us, Barbara Lamb as well. And these individuals are known for regressing people to these type of experiences. So from all of this information that I've gathered, really asking questions, doing a lot of interviews, hearing presentations, reading books, I feel that there are multiple type of DNA, genetic programs going on, and they'll have all different types of agendas. That Earth seems to be a library of DNA that it could actually be every single race within our galaxy has donated some sort of genetic material in a galaxy that is, if not just a localized galaxy in this specific area. Because my theory is either we have localized regions in the galaxy that we have certain oversouls that are kind of involved in the facilitation of that, and all the beings within that area has donated DNA and genetic material to Earth, or it might be an entire galaxy, which is why we're the biggest light show in the universe. So not only that, we're also a really great source of genetic material for all of other beings, because there are multiple beings out there that are creator beings, creator gods, like whether it's the Elohim or the mantis or the grays taking DNA. So we're almost like a petri dish of genetic material
I'm
that
just thinking that.
right. That not only are we one of the furthest, the one of the newest civilizations, because Earth compared to other places in a galaxy alone, but we're also an older civilization because we exist in linearity. Therefore, the future of us will be their present now, which they're in. You know what I'm saying? So like because time doesn't exist as we believe it to be, it only exists between the construct of Earth and the sun. So what's happening is not only are we like one of the newest civilizations, we're also DNA has been taken from us to create other civilizations that actually exist in our past that or simultaneously exist right now. So I believe that the mantis beings and might be doing something benevolent with our DNA. I believe that the grays, there are multiple different types of grays, and they're doing different things with our DNA. A lot of them are taking our DNA in order to create a hybridization program in which they can incarnate into themselves and have certain emotional experiences that they need in order to transcend and go into higher dimensions of experience. And then there's probably countless other genetic experiments going on etherically, astrally, all the time. I imagine us walking with like 100 different scientists, little fairies around us, just like experimenting on our skin, seeing how we're operating. Like we're one big experiment.
Kind of like
So
that Star Trek Voyager episode
which one?
where the Captain Janeway and the rest of the crew, they had all these things stuck in them, and only Seven could see them after she
Ah, shit,
adjusted her
yeah.
inoculators, and she's going around, and these people were hidden too, and then eventually she exposed them to the captain, and the captain had like all these things sticking out, giving her a headache, and they were
Yeah.
experimenting on them, and they wanted information that they could harvest from the
Mm,
crew so that they can help people on their own planet and
yeah.
with other civilizations as well. So it kind of falls in line with what you're saying.
Definitely. And it's truly amazing and beautiful because not only are we a computer program that can be experimented with and the code can be changed, and there are many different levels and codes that have been shifted, which is why we have parallel dimensions. Like these are all different because ultimately we're all just vibrating frequency made out of the same exact subatomic particles as everything around us. But we see everything as such individualized consciousness. So it's the computer program. We're living in this virtual reality world. So not only is our virtual reality world being experimented on, tested, redefined, improved, AI style, but also the physical version of the virtual reality game is also so physically like real that is able to be broken apart and experimented on as well when it comes to our DNA and all this stuff.
That's
Does it make
great.
sense?
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that because explain please the this virtual reality Earth experience that we're interacting with for those that are either on the fence with this idea or are
Mhm.
not even exposed to this idea or even think that this idea is
Yes.
like totally ludicrous because a lot of people live in a state of like I pinch therefore I am, right? And
Mhm.
the idea of interacting with a frequency or a matrix of sorts is beyond their you know I don't know. I don't want to
Realm of
insult
it,
anybody either, right?
realm of experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the way we look at it is like if those same individuals believe that there are realms that exist that are higher dimensions with ETs, why is that any different than us creating a dimension that is an artificial dimension, which is a computer, right? So it looks like if you look really at the whole picture of galactic history and what these beings have been doing, and the Anunnaki story, and the Syrians and the Pleiadian story about seeding the Earth, and even movies such as Prometheus, you see that every single sentient being that has ever existed wants to create something in its own image. It seems like it once you become sentient, you want to create, but you want to create more and more offspring, babies, children, um, civilizations, galaxies, universes. So just creation, creation, creation. So if we exist in the third dimension, which is truly we exist in the first, second, and third dimension, and the fourth being time, if this is what we exist within, and we can now quantify and prove that frequencies of experience exist that we cannot perceive, but we can prove that these frequencies exist. Case in point, our eyesight, we can only see a certain range of frequency. Our
Mm-hmm.
hearing, we can only see a certain range of frequency. Our smell, we can only smell like 400,000 different scents or something like that. Or actually, no, 4 trillion scents, a lot of scents. But like, so these are all limitations of the frequency range, right? So with, let me circle back to your point here. What was your question again? Because I kind of went around in
The
the circle.
virtual reality, explain
Okay,
how
okay.
the virtual reality works,
So
right?
if
Like
we
how
have,
we're. Go ahead.
no, I get your question. Okay, so if we are within those frequency ranges, now what we have done is we have proven through quantum physics, and even though quantum physics is a reality, but it's based on an agenda. Say quantum physics is actually looking at something that's real, that we're all made out of subatomic particles, all made out of frequencies. But at the same time, the illusionary part of it is the agenda that has been imposed on in order to direct you down a certain route. So quantum physics has shown that we're all vibratory frequencies. So everything that we perceive and see and look at, we know on the subatomic level. Subatomic means everything below an atom actually is vibrating frequency, but not only vibrating, is vibrating in and out of perceived reality. We now have the technology to see that this speck of vibration that we're made out of, millions and trillions of them, are vibrating in and out of reality. Therefore, every single moment, we're actually a completely new person because our subatomic particles are constantly moving out in and out of reality. However, even though I'm a new being every single time, I see myself the same. I'm continuing to walk forward. Nothing seems to change. So that therein lies the computer program. That is what it is. A computer program is a series of ones and zeros, frequencies, information, mathematics, harmonics, octaves. All of these come together in order to, that is just a bunch of data. But
Mm-hmm.
when put in this machine, it is now become a reality that is a human created dimension. What
That's
is the
like
film
a.
right now? Like if
That's
I
like a.
texted you right now, then I'll be texting you using that dimension, a dimension that we can't even perceive, using that dimension to relay information to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of like the internet.
Yeah, exactly. That's the dimension. So the
Yeah.
computer and the internet is all dimensions of creation. So what I've noticed is that all these beings have wanted to create aspects of themselves in a lower dimension. And now that we exist in this lowest of dimensions, we're doing the same exact thing. We're creating these dimensions that are an inorganic experience of ourselves. Think of if you were a 12th or 11th dimensional being and you created a ninth dimensional body. Would you think that's an inorganic version of yourself because your realm is more real than the one below it? You know what I'm
No.
saying? So that's kind of the same concept here, is that
Mm-hmm.
if you're a higher dimensional being, you would be creating this alternate reality and experiencing yourself in it. But because we exist on Earth and we're creating these things that we don't think are conscious, we're thinking that we're creating an inorganic thing. But all I see is that we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. We were supposed to create. And the only thing that we've been able to create in this reality is an artificial intelligence, something that we can communicate with.
Yeah, and this has been going on for a long time too, eh, Neil? In the ancient times, we've got statues all over the world, even in Egypt and South America and what have you, where we have half animal, half human, half
Hmm.
bird, half human. So it seems that this whole creation thing, ever since we've become sentient, is that we've been trying that. And to me, this dimension that you're talking about, like the internet and telephone and kind of what have
Hmm.
you, is kind of like the evolution of that very same thing that we've been doing for thousands of years. And instead of
Hmm.
creating physical, bodies and creatures, we're just simply creating a different type of creature, right? Like the
Yeah.
AI.
But the thing is that inside the AI, if you were the AI inside of it, experiencing it because you transferred your consciousness in there through virtual reality goggles or the technology that is now coming into play, which is actually transferring your consciousness there,
Yeah.
it becomes as real as this world,
Yeah, that's
right?
insane. It reminds me of like a video game, right?
Hmm.
You go into an arcade and you drop a quarter in, you pick your guy, and like Mortal Kombat, for instance,
Yeah.
you pick your guy and then you fight. So if you were able to transfer your consciousness into that guy, let's say, what's the name of that guy? That Scorpion. Let's say if
Hmm.
you want to be Scorpion, you transfer your consciousness into Scorpion, and then there you'd be. You wouldn't know any different that that wasn't your reality because you're interacting with it. And to me, this whole
Yeah.
matrix and this frequency that we're interacting with, like the bigger consciousness that's out there that we're an expression of, just simply playing this video game where we create this avatar and this little emoji that we call a body to play around in this realm, and that's what I
Hmm.
think the Matrix really is.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's almost so synchronistically a video game and with levels and everything that it seems like art is imitating life, and it's almost like ironic that we created something that's a complete depiction of what reality really is, which is these video games. And what happens at the end of the video game when you succeed a certain level, you ascend to another level, you know. So it's
That's
like
right.
we're this is what like each of the zodiacs are basically like. We're playing this video game that's freaking going over thousands of years, and then right at the end of it all, we've learned all the experiences, we've collected all the gold coins, and then we transcend into another reality.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And it's so
Hmm.
predictable too. If you sit back and just observe, this is so predictable. And and if you pay attention to the sky, you can see pixelation, in the
Yeah.
sky. Pixelation on the roads and kind of what have you. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, we're interacting with something artificial.
I would say, like, just to touch on like the flat Earth concept, right? That a lot of people, they said that the physics don't check out when it comes to flat Earth, right? And there was a lot of like, even though I don't believe in flat Earth, there was a lot of actual credible information that was coming out too. But just like always on both sides, it's good information with a bunch of disinformation, right?
Yeah.
So what had happened was that what we're really figuring out is how this reality is holographic and an illusion, and we're realizing that the physics don't check out. That is what's happening. And another great example of that is quantum physics and Newtonian physics. Quantum physics is literally the building blocks of Newtonian physics. However, quantum physics and Newtonian physics are a complete and utter paradox to each other. The one says that the other world should not exist. So, because the equations don't match. But we know that the subatomic world of the quantum reality is what actually makes the atomic world of Newtonian physics. And that's just something that people just accept. Oh, it's a paradox. We don't know. We can't figure it out. But the reason why we can't figure it out is our science has advanced so much that we're now piercing through the holographic creation of this reality, but we still believe it to be this physical construct only. So mainstream scientists are having mind-blowing experiences where they're like, I don't get it why this isn't working, because technically it should prove that physical reality is real, but really is proving that that's not the case at all. That we're basically a computer program, a conscious sentient program that has been created by some um, let's say higher consciousness entities or beings or God or creation or the universe in order to experience itself in this augmented reality, as Jeffrey just basically mentioned. We're
Yeah,
basically in an augmented reality.
I like what you said earlier, that we exist in this four-dimensional reality, and and it totally makes sense. What you're saying is that the consciousness or the higher being, whatever it is, created these four dimensions in order to experience itself, and then once it's experienced itself, it just moves on right to the next dimension, and then so on and so on. Just climb the ladder, just internally, exploring itself for
Mhm.
infinity. That's what I take away from it.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic, brother. Fantastic. Good stuff. You got any good stuff coming up? I know you always do.
Well,
So, what do you have coming up?
yeah, I'll mention it really quick because I want to get into talking about your event coming up, right? So let me just mention really quick. Okay, so tonight, anybody who's watching at 5:30 this tonight Pacific time, which is in 1 hour, we're going to be doing our second Woken Word, which is a conscious open mic. I'll be performing, my wife, a few other people. It's going to be on our YouTube, Portal to Ascension YouTube. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, or even on Facebook, it'll be on Portal to Ascension. So check that out over there. It's going to be really fun, beautiful art, and just just having a good time with each other. So that's in 1 hour from now. You can tune in, and then some events we have coming up. I don't have anything until March 6th, which is, I guess, just 2 weeks away. But I have Phil Grouper, Visitors to a Small Planet, which is going to be an event on open ET contact. That's on March 6th. Soon after that, I am doing an event with Laura Eisenhower called Activating Avatar Christos Matrix from 3D Reversal Grid to the Diamond Sun DNA. That's on March 13th. And the day after that, I have an event with Freddie Silva called Ancient Architects. That's going to be on March 14th. And then let me just plug one more. I have an event with Michael Cremo called Forbidden Archaeology on April 3rd. But we are going to be co-hosting an event together the weekend before that, right, Omar? And that's going to be, I think, what is it, March 26th, 7th, and 8th?
Yeah, 27th, 28th, and 29th. I'm, excited about Michael Cremo, and and he's going to be speaking at our event as well, called Forgery Unmasked. And the real the reason behind the name is that we're really unmasking this false that they've taught us, and which we've come to believe. And I feel that the 28 speakers and the 6 MCs that we're going to feature are the leading truth speakers, and they're going to come up and they're going to explain their case and their research, and educate us all so that we can raise our self-awareness. I've got a bunch of guys coming. You're speaking at this summit, and here, let me pull it out. There's so many names that it kind of gets hard to follow. This is the biggest one that I've put together so far. I got guys like Neil Gore, Robert Morningstar, Dr. Samus Monovic, Valerie Uralov, Patricia Awan, Brian Forster, Stephen and Evan Strong, Brad Olson, John Shaughnessy, Paul Anthony Wallace. He is sponsoring this event, and he's got a book coming out that you can see the cover right behind me. So he's going to be speaking actually twice. One day he's, you and Paul are going to have a one-on-one interview for an hour, and then after that we're going to have a panel discussion. Each day is going to close off with a panel discussion with the guests from the day, so that we can really formulate our ideas, share our ideas together in in a cordial, respectful debate, and information sharing. I wouldn't even say a debate. It's more of a information sharing session.
Yeah.
And so that's happening on the 27th, 28th, and the 29th. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out in this space for updated information. They'll be coming up here in the next couple of days. Hope to see everybody there. This should be a really good one, and I'm looking forward to doing this with you as well, Neil, and a bunch of other people. So it's going to be fun, and and just learn, right? That's the overall goal, is to share information and learn new things, and and change our position when new information is presented, and not be pig-headed and stuck in that one state of mind saying, nope, I know this to be true, and that's it, right? I myself am trying to get past that paradigm. It's that double think syndrome, right? That everybody is going to go through, because there are things that you've been taught in life to believe, and then now suddenly all this other information that's coming up that's contradicting everything that you've learned. So now we're in this double think where you want to believe the new information, but the old one's holding you back, right? So for me, I'm looking to get beyond that, unlearning everything, and and I feel all these speakers that are coming up are going to help me do that myself, and and hopefully they're going to help everybody else as well.
Yeah, and you put a lot of time in this, got some amazing people together, so it's gonna be fun. And like we always have a great time doing these events all day online, especially because we get to connect, and so fun. And just the love that is shared and the information, it's really empowering, and it's really what's needed right now, because there's information coming out on every level, right? So the more information that you put out that's conscious information that can be positive and assist people, the better it is. So I encourage everybody to continue doing these events. And Omar, you two like did a great job, bro. And just keep it going and do some more events. You know, I support you in everything you do.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. And same
Mhm.
here. I'll do whatever I can to support and help you. It's just the way it is. We're in this community, and
Yep.
we all share the same goals, and and we've been working together for years, and and after a certain amount of years, it just really goes from friendship to familyship, right? And and that's kind of where we're at, and and
Hmm.
I don't see a foreseeable future where we're not working together. I intend to
Yeah.
know you when when I get like 70 years old, and you're like 70 years old, and say, oh, I remember 30 years ago, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Look
no,
where
I
we're
love
at.
it. I love doing events with you because it feels so natural and comfortable. And there's just this friendship, like we're homies, you know, like we're on the
Yeah,
same level. So
yeah, yeah.
our conversations are always great because of that.
Yeah, exactly, man, and I appreciate it, and I
Hmm.
love you very much, brother.
I love you
So we
too.
should call it a an evening here, and
Yes.
you guys, Portal to Ascension. The link is right down there in the description of this video, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit that like button because and share it too, and comment on it because that really screws with the algorithm of YouTube and Facebook, and is forced to share it out to thousands of other people potentially. So we have a way around this, but it just takes a quick couple of seconds from you guys,
Hmm.
that support us and watch us, and and we appreciate that very much. And we just ask that you take that one extra step into fighting the censorship that we're fighting. And as I've mentioned earlier, when the stream began yesterday, I went to go and share Paul's website address, paulwallace.com or paulanthonywallace.com. And as soon as I put that, I got this message on Facebook that said, because of the media content and, the argument with Australia and Facebook, you can't post anything from there. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane, right? So, with that type of censorship, and especially with a book like this that's coming out, that's going to be like the book of generations, like the Chariots of the Gods was, and Escaping from Eden was, this is, at that level. And for them to censor that is absolutely ridiculous. And,
Yeah.
I don't support that whatsoever. So because of that, in homage to that, I decided to use Scars of Eden as a background today in this stream, and I will continue to do so over the next several weeks and several months, just to fight these people in my own way, to show them that no, you can't censor us, and no, you can't hold this information back from us. If we want it, we'll share it, and if people want to look at it, they'll look at it, and if not, they're just going to keep on scrolling. It's none of your business.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and that's my protest to them. And the link is available again down in the description of this video to Paul Wallace's website on YouTube and on Facebook. When you copy the web address, just move the com back to the dot, and and all should be good. Maybe not, right? They'll might, who knows? Just follow the link to Amazon. Or go to Google and put in Paul Anthony Wallace, or visit his channel on YouTube, The Fifth Kind, and also Paul Anthony Wallace. Let's show him our support, and
Hmm.
show him some love, because he's put together a great piece of literature that is going to help expand us. And a lot of us are here today where we are at because of Eric von Daniken, because of the Chariots of the Gods. So now there's going to be some kid who's going to pick up this book, and it's going to change their life. And 10, 15,
Hmm.
20 years from now, they'll be like, hey, it was Paul Wallace's book that really changed my outlook. And
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. And for that, I love the guy very much, and I want to support him as much as I can and consider him to be a good friend. So with that being said, guys, portaltoascension.org, Neil Gore, I'm Omar, coming at you guys from West Coast, British Columbia, Canada. Much love to you guys. Be well, and hopefully we'll see you here the next time
Yeah.
around. I'm not really quite sure when the next show I'll be doing, but it'll probably be something towards the end of next week.